What's the crack, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Cards everywhere here. First off, I'd like to apologise for my lack of uploads last week and probably the week before as well. I've just been very busy in work, so I just haven't had the chance to sit down and play. So I am still quite far behind in the leagues. I was at rank 16 on Monday. I did some grinding last night to get back up to 12. And hopefully tonight I'll be able to get back up to a reasonable rank and bring you a weekly league deck, hopefully tomorrow. But for now, we'll check out the new event, the Lone Wolf. I played a few games already. It's quite interesting. You do get 100 gems at the end of it. That's about all that will be useful to me. But certainly for newer players, it will be a good boost to get coins and cards going. As for the rules, they do change every event. This one here is the Lone Wolf event. At the start of each round, if your deck contains exactly one card from an album, give that card 100 power permanently. So it is, I do believe it has the same featured arenas as the weekly league. But different energy as far as I'm aware. I think it is different. If not, then the same deck should be interchangeable between the two. You might need to shift around things to match the rules. But other than that, we'll give a quick rundown of the deck I've chosen. I've gone with the Natural Monuments, with a bit of disruption since the energy is low enough this week. So let's give a quick rundown and we'll jump into a game. So first up is the Door to Hell. On the draw, your cards in hand burn 50 until played and gain 50 power this turn. Then I've gone with Giant's Causeway. On the return, your opponent's cards, wherever they are, lose 20 power next turn. And if you won the turn, they lose another 10 power next turn. Then we have Vinkuka. On the draw, if your deck has at least one card from each album, your Majestic Mountains, Natural Monuments, and Hidden Gems cards, wherever they are, gain 22 power until played. Next I've gone with Cyclopean Isles. On the play, your original Odyssey cards, wherever they are, gain 29 power until played. And then on the return, your Natural Monuments cards, wherever they are, cost -1 energy for 4 turns. Then we have 7 coloured Earths. On the play, if it's after round 2, your cards in hand gain 26 power this turn. Next is Krishna's Butterball. On the play, if played in the middle slot, the card opposite this loses 50 power this turn. And 9 of your random Natural Monuments and 9 of your random Weird World cards, wherever they are, gain 23 power until played. Next is Looking Glass Rock. On the play, gain 70 power this turn. And if you lost a turn, lose 10 power permanently. Next we have Fly Geyser. On the play, your cards adjacent and opposite this card gain 25 power this turn. Next is the Grand Prismatic Spring. On the play, for every non-science album in your deck, your Natural Monuments, wherever they are, gain 4 power until played. Next we have 3 supporting cards for the science album. So the first one is Antimatter. On the play, this card loses 150 power, and the card opposite this loses 150 power this turn. Then we have The Brain. On the draw, your cards, wherever they are, gain 23 power for 2 turns, and this card locks for 2 turns. Then on the return, an opponent's random card in hand locks next turn. It is part of the arena this week, so we can take advantage of that as well. And the final card is the Fusion Virtual Reality. On the play, your cards in hand gain 15 power this turn. And then on the return, your remaining cards in hand cost -2 energy next turn. Then we've gone with some disruption cards for the single copies. The first one is Icelandic Yule Cash. On the draw, your opponent's cards in hand cost +1 energy this round. Then we have King Cobra. On the play, your opponent loses -1 energy permanently. Next, I've gone with Arthur Pelura. On the play, your opponent's cards in hand with 45 or more base power lose 30 power this turn and next turn. Then we have another disruption card, American Crocodile. So on the play, your opponent loses 2 energy this round. And again with the disruption, we have James Armstead. On the return, your opponent loses 2 energy this round. And if you won the turn, your opponent loses 10 power this round. And the final card is the mythic Lightspeed Travel. On the draw, if your deck has 9 or more science cards, your science cards, wherever they are, gain 10 power permanently. So that's the deck, guys. We'll jump into a game or two and see if we can get some wins out. It's been doing relatively well for me. I've just shifted around a few cards there recently, and I'm quite happy with how it's turned out now. So it looks like we've found a real opponent. So we'll say hello and see if we can get into the game here. So the one thing about these cards is you kind of are struggling a bit on where to place them. Ideally, you want to place them in front to get the maximum benefit out of them. So the opponent is using a horrible Halloween deck. He did get the ghost off there, so that will make things difficult for our disruption. But hopefully we can undo that here with the King Cobra. And I suppose we'll play the American Crocodile as well with the Cyclopean Isles to reduce the cost of our natural monuments. So the opponent shouldn't be able to play too much next turn. And we should be able to get rid of some of our weaker cards out of hand, so we don't have to worry about them next round either. So we will rotate around with these cards. I think it should be enough to get the win, since the opponent won't be able to play too much, hopefully. Unfortunately, he was able to play 3 cards. I was not expecting that. But we were able to get the win. So I'm not quite sure what his deck really is. It seems to be just a horrible Halloween deck with some supporting cards. We'll see how it works out for him. There's our Lightspeed Travel. And unfortunately our Door to Hell as well. So I put the Door to Hell here. I do want to hit that card with Antimatter, so I'm going to play it in that slot. Even though we'll be missing out on a little bit with Lightspeed Travel, as it will be coming around a little later than usual. But we weren't too far behind here. So we'll get the brain around with Krishna. And I suppose the 7 coloured Earths in front for the 169. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to win this round. But we might be able to set ourselves up for later in the game. So we go with the Giant's Causeway, the Vinkunka, and I suppose the Looking Glass Rock for a 397. Just so we get the win, and the Giant's Causeway will help us out next turn. I wasn't expecting to get so close there. If I had known he was playing quite such a weak hand, I would have played James Armstead there. But we have a super powerful hand here. So we're going to go King Cobra with the James Armstead and the American Crocodile for a 1002 turn. So we were able to take the lead there, and James Armstead, in conjunction with the American Crocodile and the King Cobra, will reduce his energy right back down. So hopefully you won't be able to play a full hand next turn. So we'll go with the Yulcash, Arthur Pelura and the Cyclopean Isles to help reduce our energy for next turn as well. So the opponent does seem to be getting away with our energy disruption, but we took the lead there, so we should be just fine here for this round. So we go with the Grand Prismatic Spring, the Fly Geyser and the Door to Hell for a 569. Hopefully that's enough with the current lead we have. It should be. The opponent might choose to hold back some cards, but that might mess up his rotation as well. So we're able to get the win there again. So we'll see if we can pull ahead this round. We did use up most of our single cards, but we still might be able to pull something out. So we'll get that around. I think 7-11 is a decent start. We'll say thank you very much. The opponent's deck is quite interesting as well. I think we will be able to get by it. So we'll go Vinkunka, the Giant's Causeway, and the Virtual Reality for a 402. Hopefully we win the turn. And Giant's Causeway will help us out next turn. And we have the Antimatter if we need it. But I do believe we'll be getting two of our non-science cards around. So they'll be at 400 or 500 each. So 855. We'll see what the opponent can do. So we'll give him a few seconds here. And then we'll swap these two around to hit that card. And there we have it, folks. I wouldn't consider that an easy win, but certainly an interesting deck from the opponent. I think we just got fairly lucky there. So there we have the win. I'll jump into another game, just to get a good feel of the deck and see how we... Oh, I do need to watch out for that. You don't want to jump in with the wrong deck. So we just got some coins there for reaching one of the goals. And nothing amazing. So we'll jump into one more and we'll leave it at that. As far as I'm aware, I haven't run into any bots yet in the event, but that just might be because everyone's playing it at the moment. And it looks like we have found an opponent. and it definitely is a real person. So we'll make sure to say hello and hopefully have a good game. So we'll say hello. Have the rules changed? Not sure what's going on there. Yes, I'm very confused myself. Luckily, the opponent quit. I'll have to take a second look there. Yes, I'm not sure what that was, but we'll jump into another game there. It's like we had the casual rules for some reason. Perhaps that was a bug. Certainly the first time I've seen that happen. So here we go. So we have found another real opponent, so hopefully we can have a good game here. So we get the King Cobra around with the Virtual Reality and the Cyclopean Isles for a 297 start. So I don't know what the opponent is playing quite yet, but hopefully our energy disruption will put a stint in his works. So we did get James Armstead, so we get him around in this slot here with the Lightspeed Travel, and I suppose the Fly Geyser just to take advantage of the energy. And hopefully with James Armstead we'll reduce what he can play next turn and we'll be able to pull back. So we go Arthur Pelura with the Butterball and the Grand Prismatic Spring. Or actually no, I'll get Finkunka and the Brain around. I wouldn't have been able to win that turn otherwise. But we did disrupt his rotation a little bit there. So hopefully we'll be able to get the win. And we might have locked down an important card for him next round. There is our Yule Cash. Hopefully that does a bit of work for us. So we get the Yule Cash out with the Butterball and the Giant's Causeway. Just reduce his power next turn as well. And then we should be able to play some weaker cards here. So we get the Looking Glass, the Grand Prismatic Spring, and the Antimatter out for a 455. That will get us well ahead, and he has used his Heimdall. Looks like he is struggling with the energy, so he's trying to get his Iron Maiden going for him. But I'm going to undo that with the King Cobra here. Virtual Reality and the Door to Hell should be enough to finish out this turn. And then next round we have the American Crocodile and hopefully James Armstead. And that should push him well behind as he won't be able to play any cards. So we're going to start out with a big hand. With the 290 plus the American Crocodile and James Armstead for a 974. And he should have pretty much no energy to work with for the rest of this round. And we have all our good stuff coming around here. I'm going to save the Arthur Perlura for the next round and go with the Cyclopean Isles, 7 coloured rocks, or earths, and the Fly Geyser for a 439. So the opponent was able to get a big hand there, but again, he's not getting his cards rotated around, so we should be safe enough this round. And hopefully if we win this turn, we'll get the Giant's Causeway helping us out for the next round as well. So we'll go with a 366 hand plus the boost from Butterball. I don't know if it'll be enough. Hopefully it is. I do believe we were able to do it there. So there's another round in the bag for us. And we have some big stuff coming here for next turn. Here's our Yule Cash again. That will increase the cost of his cards. So we've got Arthur Perlura with the Yule Cash and the Grand Prismatic Spring for a 1052 start. Hopefully the Shinigami doesn't hit one of them. Unfortunately it did. Shinigami might be worth putting into this deck. I'll have to look into that. Though it is quite luck based what she'd hit. So we go King Cobra, Looking Glass Rock, and the Virtual Reality. And we'll see if he plays anything else. If he doesn't, I'll play the Antimatter here and hopefully hit something good. So that gives us a nearly 600 lead. Oh, it is a 600 lead. So we should be just fine for this final turn. Especially with Lightspeed and American Crocodile with the Door to Hell boost. I do not see the opponent able to come back from this one. So a 1035 should be enough to finish out the game. So we'll say good game to the opponent. So that is the deck, guys. The code will be down in the description. And again, we should be back to normal this week with some more videos later on. So if you did enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment what you think of the deck. And I'll catch you later in the week. Cards everywhere, out.